Well, to local news now, Lloydminster City Council has approved a company's proposal to design upgrades to the city's stormwater drainage system. With more from City Hall, here's Brian Lentz.
So quite a short council meeting today, just 4 items on the agenda, one of which is that council is moving ahead with upgrading the northwest drainage channel. In the case of a storm, they decided back in June that they needed to upgrade the system and deal with stormwater in the city. And here today, they awarded basically the design of that engineering project to MPE Engineering Limited for $140,000. So they received multiple bids. That was the cheapest, and they did receive a lower technical score in that bidding process, but Councillor Buckingham says all of his concerns about that have been met.
I don't question for a second the way that our team technically scores these, and we're just trying to get the best possible outcome for the taxpayer financially in a situation like this. And sometimes you pay a little more and sometimes you pay a little less, but I'm comfortable with the answers we receive when we ask them.
The total estimated cost of the Northwest Drainage Channel upgrades is $3.4 million. Now, the city is only responsible for $700,000 of that because they received a grant from the Alberta government of $2.7 million. However, they were supposed to complete the project by the end of this year, but that grant has been extended to the end of December of 2018 to give the city time to complete the upgrades and better handle stormwater within the city. Now, regarding the combative sports bylaw, City Council has begun the process of repealing it, but there will be a public hearing on October 16th here at City Hall during a regular council meeting to receive input from the community. Now, we'll have more information about this story and others from City Council later on this week on Newcap News.
This is Newcap Weather with Gerard Lampau.
Welcome to it, everyone. So as we noted last week there, the extended summer that we've been enjoying with some temperatures 10 or more degrees above the seasonal averages where we should be for this time of the year, that's been coming to an end, and today's probably the last of it. And let's have a look and see what's happening in our systems map here. First system pushing well to the north of us, some cooler air along that cold front, and then the next system, the one that we're watching at, the warm front associated with that interacting with cooler air that's already present and also air descending from the north there. That could trigger actually some snow for areas north of Stony Rapids sometime tomorrow evening. Of greater concern to us is the cold front associated with that system as that pushes its way across from Alberta into Saskatchewan. We'll see the cloud cover building as the day goes forward, and seeing some of it on this next graphic here. The areas of precipitation beginning to fill in there, but looks more chances later on in the evening. This is stopping in the middle of the afternoon, and you see some areas just off of our southwest there pushing in. I'm thinking though some of it is very late on Tuesday and maybe going into Wednesday morning, maybe 30, turning into about a 40% chance we'll pick up some of these showers across the region. And you see there's quite a lot of it there. Some of that is showing up in some models for areas west of Rocky Mountain House as well as snow in the higher elevations. Jasper and Banff included in that. Let's go across the country. 22 and overcast in Vancouver, 28 and cloud cover as well, both around Edmonton City Centre and the International Airport. 29, lots of sunshine still available in Regina. Overcast in Winnipeg for 21. As we head further afield to Toronto, overcast evening on the way for 21 there. 20 in Quebec, mainly clear skies. Some cloud cover available in Halifax for 16 and 11, and an overcast evening in St. John's. So, back to the battlefronts and take a look here, sitting at 27. Revel in this, please. Still some blue skies available and sunshine. 11 is possible on the overnights, which is a lot better than the 6s and 5s we saw this morning. So telling you as well, there is cool air around. 19 is what you'll aim for come tomorrow, so nowhere close to the 27s and 28s of today. 30% chance of showers in the evening, and the winds notably out of the northwest. It could be sharp, anywhere from 20, 30, 40 kilometers per hour, but nothing like what we saw yesterday as that cooler air settled on in, and what we experienced this morning right across the region was at 5, 6s and 7s around 6, 7 o'clock this morning. 25 at the moment, down from 26 in cold. Cold Lake could see 8 overnight. Mainly clear evening. Some cloud cover pushing on in along that warm front as it pushes across northern Alberta into northern Saskatchewan, and then looking for 16 tomorrow as your daytime high, and a 30%, maybe 40% chance late in the evening transitioning into Wednesday. And again, the winds out of the northwest. For ourselves, we're at 24, down from 26. West and southwest winds 17 kilometers per hour. Looking for 9 overnight. Southwest switching to northwest winds anywhere from 15, 20, 30 That looks to be possible. And we'll see some cloud cover. Should begin to push in around midnight or even overnight. Mix of sun and cloud initially, and a 30% chance for late day showers, it looks like. And that might linger on even to Wednesday morning for the morning commute. 16 is what we'll settle for come tomorrow. Northwest winds 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. So we'll give it a 30% chance that lingers into Wednesday, 40% chance for showers that could linger into Thursday. And no one really wants to see that. Temperatures, daytime highs in the mid-teens, cooling on Friday for 12 and overcast. And then Saturday, looks like a 60% chance of showers for 14, 12 on Sunday, 15 next Monday. So a return to the seasonal averages. That's the next 7 days. Nicole, we've got agriculture news coming up.
Still to come, the Filipino community welcomed a special guest to the border city over the weekend. Details next. Stay with us. The Filipino community had a special guest in the border city over the weekend. Consul General Julius Torres was in town for Philippine outreach services in Lloydminster to serve Filipinos stretched across Saskatchewan. Services included passport renewal, authentication of legal documents, and applications for dual citizenship.
At least they don't have to travel all the way to Calgary to have their passports renewed.
Torres was also in attendance for the Filipino Fiesta that evening, where the display of food, dance, and hospitality left him impressed.
It's a good thing that our communities, our Filipino Canadian communities, are involved in this kind of endeavor because it helps for a stronger Canada.
He hopes in the near future to connect every Filipino community in the prairies with one another.
Hopefully we can bring the communities together so there's more networking among them. In times of distress or calamities, it's easier to mobilize assistance for the affected communities.
More than 300 people received assistance. 36 years after its inception, the Terry Fox Run will make its way through Lloydminster on Sunday. You're on! The run takes place every September to raise awareness and funds for cancer research, as well as honor the memory of an extraordinary Canadian.
Terry Fox started his Marathon of Hope and couldn't finish it. So what a great way to help him out and do it in his honor. And one of the things he said was, you know, I just want to raise $1 for every person in Canada to go towards cancer research. And just imagine how much money that would be and the huge difference it would make.
The run, which saw about 50 participants in Lloydminster last year, has been an annual tradition across Canada since Fox began his Marathon of Hope in 1980.
Something that motivated me, and I know that when I did the run myself, the 5 kilometers, if I started to get tired or my leg hurt or whatever, I would just think to myself, well, what about this person who fought cancer and beat it?
The Terry Fox Run will be taking place this Sunday at Bud Miller Park. Registration opens at 9 a.m. The run starts at 10. It's a game many people haven't even heard of, but while some are out playing sports or video games, as Brian Lentz shows us in this week's edition of Retrospect, there's a tabletop strategy game that's been bringing people together for decades.
Peace on Earth, War on the Tabletop. That's the main focus of the Gamers Keep, a new store in Lloydminster's downtown. The city's other 2 game stores have recently closed shop, and 3 young people decided to pick up where they left off.
We're all gamers. That's what we've been calling ourselves for years and years and years, and we always wanted to have a place of our own.
Unlike the other stores, this one focuses on only one game, Warhammer, a complex war game of strategy that has captured the attention of people of all ages.
Each of the players who's playing buys and builds an army, and each figure in the army, and they're all these little metal figures, is worth a certain number of points and has certain special abilities. And once you get your whole army together, you find someone else who has an army, and your army and their army have a war.
Though the Gamers Keep closed 4 years later, excitement for the strategy game has continued unabated through the decades.
It just had a new edition launch about 3 months ago. They've kept up with modern technology. All of the books are available online, on tablets, and it's a really fast-paced, fun war game.
But it's not just Warhammer that remains popular. Border City Games recently changed locations and doubled their floor space to accommodate a growing tabletop gaming community.
We've been steadily growing communities for Warhammer, Magic, Pokemon. We just got Final Fantasy games in. It's actually pretty remarkable how much of an audience there is for this stuff still.
That's all for Retrospect. I'm Brian Lentz.
This is Newcap Sports.
Incoming and outgoing players are a fact of life for amateur athletes and teams, maybe more so when it comes to high school and college programs. This season's Lakeland Rustlers women's basketball team is fortunate to be in a situation with a roster full of returning players and a couple of rookie standouts. Lance Phillips has more.
With just over a month to go before season start, the Rustlers women's basketball team is busy working new talent into its roster. Amongst those new faces are two players with noticeable basketball pedigree. The name Tanita should sound familiar to Rustlers fans and foes. Caitlin, the sister of the 2014-2015 ACAC Rookie of the Year Jenny Tanita, recently transferred to Lakeland from U of R, bringing experience at the U Sports level.
It's faster paced. Like, we don't really set offenses as much here, while CIS was kind of like a half court type game, but here it's like pressing and like full on transition all the time, which are my strengths, so I'm excited to play here.
We're extremely excited. I think she's going to be one of the best players in her position, I think, in our league, and hopefully she can bring some experience from the CS level, even though she didn't have game experience, just the intensity level and the level of compete there.
With the loss of both Australian recruits, King went out and found another star in Ashley Norman. Look no further than Meg Faraz and Tori Dugan to see the success King's found down under. Norman's expected to help tremendously, despite coming off a significant injury.
I'm coming back from an ACL injury, so I haven't really been able to train for like over 12 months, so it's been really good getting back into it and being pushing hard and stuff.
Ashley got all of her paperwork together, got everything done really quick for us. I'm really excited to have her over, very past first point guard. She literally came in the day before training camp just because that's how tight her student visa was. So she's still getting used to Canada and getting rid of her jet lag. But I think she's going to be a huge asset to us, especially now that Tori's out for the year. Hopefully she can fill some of that.
It's precisely these types of players King needs on his roster, given the intangibles they bring to the team.
When I get more comfortable and like know how the girls play, I think I'll bring a lot of leadership, and like I watch like how my players play and know their strengths and weaknesses. I hope I can become a leader on this team and just help girls with a different perspective. Like, coming from a different team, I kind of have a different way I was playing, so hopefully that adds on to this dynamic.
End of the day, all the kids should be happy that our team got better. I think some of the players now feel pressure in their positions, which is great, right? We want to have people competing for playing time every single day, and we saw it today. It could be a different 10 kids every single day that would be our top 10, and every day when the coaches sit down, it seems like someone else has stepped up. So now we're going to see just that general preparedness every single day.
Lance Phillips, Newcap Sports, Lloydminster.